chill and like hang out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like
And
all of
stream
my
it.
games start late.
Just stream everything we say.
Right?
Totally. Just
Just-
like stream a casual conversation. We'll call it a podcast. It's a D&D podcast about... Someone actually did that.
My Midgardia server does that now.
Or
We
you-
have podcasts and shit.
You could turn it into like a confessional room, basically.
I mean, we already do
Maybe
that.
you.
I mean, we would just go in randomly. It would just run 24 hours, and you could just
Well, I
randomly.
mean, apparently, and now that we're streaming, I mean, apparently one of us has, you know... Never mind. I'm not going to... That's just too
I
I
dark.
was going to say, you shouldn't.
So... Anyway, so since it's the beginning of the game, I should have said before, I am kind of like running with a bit of a headache. I have taken a shit ton of pain meds. I should be fine, but I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Again, like I have a lot of pain meds on board, so I should be fine.
So try not to make it worse. Got it.
I very much doubt you're going to be able to do that.
Much
So
Good luck with me and your group.
if memory serves, and it typically doesn't, I think the only two people left, because I'm doing this in kind of a rotation if you guys haven't picked up, the only two people who haven't recapped yet are Jason and Gwen.
Probably.
So one of you has to do it and go. Whoever doesn't do it today has to do it next week. So
Ooh, pressure's on.
I'm being bad teacher.
If you want me to email,
Do I remember it well enough?
Well, hey, you participate in this game. If you're not paying attention.
In that case, I'll go just because I had to get my thoughts in order.
And Gwen knows to pay attention this week.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I think I remember
It's
what
okay.
happened. I just had
Jace-
to take a
Jace-
second to think about it.
Well, who wants
I'm not entirely sure where we started. However, I know the very first thing I remember is the arena. I'm going to call it that because it was supposed to be something else completely, and it turned into a giant, constant nightmare creature that was impossible to be killed, while the eldest den mother, who is unnamed, was having some kind of seizure and fueling all of it, which led to her death. And I vaguely recall a unicorn charging through at some point, and no one could explain why, which was interesting. Past that, once that literal nightmare combat was over and we were all covered with various nasty things because we've been hit with a Rakshasa and a Slod and I don't remember what else, a Bone Naga. That's just off the top of my head. We left. We went to the unnamed den mother's funeral, and we spent a great deal of time talking about what our next move was because, quite frankly, we've decided not to stay here. At least the players did. A couple of the NPCs are... One has outright decided that they are staying here in Haven Rock, and most of the others are suspiciously silent. We got to talk with Rocky Way a bit about how this was not supposed to happen, how they didn't blame us, but some people did. We started prepping for journey. I think we decided to go south, unless I'm completely wrong. Yeah,
to the
so.
elves, because we had elves in the party who were very curious about their heritage outside of Bastion.
I think we were headed to the south.
Southcom first, yeah.
Yeah, the Southcom first, because that's where we'll be leaving from. And because there were members of the party who, the Southcom is the more mystical of the comms, and had questions for the various quasi-magic users of Haven Rock, whom we haven't met, so we don't know if they're actually there.
Okay.
And Gabriel and a few of us got into more than a slight argument over whether or not we should trust these people.
Yeah, totally.
I'm awful at recap. That's why I don't volunteer.
That is okay. You did a pretty good job, I think. Does anyone want to
We
add
also-
anything?
Yeah, we also met that one woman who was exiled from Bastion.
The plant.
Yeah, and got a little bit more information about what the trial was supposed to be like, and a little bit more about some other exiles from Bastion that she had traveled with. A lot of them
is correct.
keep moving past the village. Yeah, which of course our angel man doesn't believe.
Well, they're leaving the town for a reason. Nobody wants to be here. They have a plant. That's basically it. Tell them how good.
Gabriel went from chill to like nail real fast.
Yeah,
it
he
was
got
like 0 to
paranoid.
60 very quickly there. Yeah, wholly agreed. Okay. Anything else that anyone wants to add? You
Just-
did. Go ahead.
Just at the end of the gauntlet, when things really went pear-shaped, there was some kind of like creepy-ass void with 3 figures, one that was robed, one that was humanish, and one that was misshapen, that took particular interest in Faith, Gabriel, and I think Giselle? If my notes are... I can't find
Yeah,
my
I
notes,
think it was me
so
too.
my mind serves. So I think that's going to be significant, though in what way, fuck if I know. But I think it's worth repeating and keeping in mind.
Also, Giselle is cursed.
She is.
Oh
That's
yeah, she got an STD from that chick.
Yeah, but we don't know that.
true. Yeah.
All she knows is
Is
her
that
magic's weird.
From the woman you slept with?
Totally.
No, it's from the Sasha.
That's totally from that woman she slept with. Come on. This is why Gabriel's paranoid. He's full of STDs trying to kill us.
Okay. So, yeah, you guys had said your goodbyes. You talked to Ciala and Raquela and, met with a couple people. And last I recall, you guys were basically heading to bed for the evening before waking up early the next day to head out. Does that sound right?
We.
So, yeah, you guys, you wake up early in the morning and presumably pack your stuff and get ready to go. Is there anything any of you need to do before heading out? Last minute preparations, thoughts?
Clarification. I did get a short bow. Yes, not a
You
long
did,
bow?
correct.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, you got a short bow. From Raquela, who had made it for Ciala, who'd never touched it.
Oh, and Ciala threw a conniption that we're leaving.
Yeah, Ciala was pretty heartbroken that you guys were leaving. Some people aren't thrilled about the way that you're leaving, but you got to do you, so everyone kind of recognizes that. You're free to head out if that's what you'd like to do.
Yep, ignore this, just testing.
Okay. Cool. So you guys get your stuff and you begin heading out at presumably first light or shortly thereafter. Are you heading straight south, southeast? Like if someone wants to draw an arrow and give me an idea about the relative path you're aiming to take?
Well, if
I think we're heading to the
recall-
South Com first.
Yes,
yeah.
but I think did we want to hit east? Because didn't that have a pearl that was needed, or did we get that?
We don't have enough for the pearl. It's
Okay.
gonna cost 100 gold, and we don't have that much.
I didn't know if... Oh, wait, I'm the one with the charming tongue. Never mind.
I need it for identify, and we don't specifically need identify right now, so it's not like a priority either.
I knew mechanically why we needed it, but just never mind.
Okay. So you wanted to head to the Southcom before heading out?
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
told that was where some of the more people more versed in magic lived, and I have questions if nothing else. I think Giselle had questions.
Yeah, I wanted to find like a magical healer type person or somebody that would know about what's going on with my magic.
Okay. And aside from that, what else do you need down there?
I don't think
I
anything
think we-
else.
Don't think anything else. I think we have food and rations and everything else just from where we are, from what little we're actually using.
And we did get that rough map, so I don't think we need anything else.
Okay. So you guys pack up, head to the Southcom. It's obviously early. People in Haven Rock obviously get to work pretty early. People are moving around, moving wagons and crops and animals and all sorts of stuff. And you head around to the Southcom. How how do you just ask around? Like, how do you find what you're looking for?
Didn't we get a name of somebody?
I don't know. Did you?
I think Tongaway was Tongaway south or was she west? Shit.
It's in the group notes.
That's what I'm checking.
You can always count
Yeah,
on Conrad.
yeah. Tongaway is the Southcom mother that we met on top of the mesa, so I don't know if maybe she'd be the one to find and ask.
It's
But I'm not the
possible.
one looking.
Yeah, Tonga is. I
Marcus.
thought earlier. Yes, the dog won't shut up. When you went and talked to Rakuea, didn't she tell you about somebody that specializes in your kind of magic, though, Yinkin?
I don't think she gave me a name. She said if there was anybody who was if there was anybody who knew about my magic, it would be in the Southcom. So
I
I'm
guess
just going to
we
be
can-
asking around.
Yeah, just ask around.
Okay, so you're just asking like anybody. You're not looking specifically for like Tongaway or anybody like that.
I would probably go pay my respects to Tongaway if nothing else, considering someone just died.
Sounds right.
So, like I said before, each of the comms is fashioned in a similar way into the rock, but they each kind of have their own little quirks and different designs and colors and things of that nature. So, you recognize that not everything is exactly as it was on the North comm. People here tend to, rather than having as much leather, some of them actually wear like furs or light furs. Some of them have, I think I described this before, like shell necklaces or things that almost kind of represent like the sea in some fashion to an extent. And but again, like moving up the rock is pretty similar. It's a similar fashion to the Northcom. Instead of having like a kind of tunnel that would lead into like some separate chamber as Rakuea did, Tongawea actually appears to live, it doesn't take you long to figure out that she kind of lives closer to, or her abode, I guess you would call it, is closer to like the center of the rock rather than being near the top. And it looks like a fairly large, like one large room kind of establishment that she set herself up in. And you see that people are like moving in and out of there, and not at like a rapid pace, but just like one person will go in for a few minutes and come out and what have you. And as you approach, you do get some people looking at you. They clearly recognize you at this point. Word has spread around the rock about, the foreigners and all that stuff. And as you're kind of like looking around and making your way, I think Tongawea like pops her head out of this establishment, out of this abode, and she just kind of looks all of you up and down. I think I described her before. She's older, probably in her 60s, human woman, pure white hair, clearly some wrinkles. She spent some time in the sun, not hardened, not like soldierly, but kind of I'm sure there's a proper expression for it. Just kind of a
Leathered.
Feathered?
well, yeah, but hardened in a way, in the sense that like she looks like a mean grandma, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. Like
Wizened?
wizened, maybe, not incorrect. But she just kind of like looks. She looks up, you up and down. I'm sure there's like a television grandmother that would like make the perfect analogy, but I can't think of who that is right now. Maybe it'll come to me. But she kind of pops her head out.
Catherine Tate plays in her show.
I don't know who that is. Of course, as soon as I sit in this chair, I
How
start
about
laughing.
Everybody Loves Raymond's mom?
No, because she's harder than that. She looks, because that mother was like, if I remember, like saccharine sweet, but like passive aggressive. That's not what Tongaway is about.
2.5 Men's mom.
No, it's the chick. It's the lady from Matilda, the principal.
Nope, still no. again,
The old
Anyway,
lady from the Goonies.
no,
yeah.
no, I saw you link that. It's definitely not that. Anyway, so
Wow. It's a hard
um,
woman to describe.
she is, yeah. She's multifaceted. What can I say? So she looks at each of you up and down, and just kind of makes this grunting noise. Figured you'd all be gone by now. You need something? I got work to do.
Offering my condolences for your loss and asking a question, if you don't mind. Where can we find someone who understands magic?
She kind of squints at you. Shakes her head a little bit, like in slight bafflement at your question. It's like, we had a young woman here. Got some, I don't know if you call it training. One of them elves came and stayed with us for a while. Tried to teach her some things. Some things took hold, but spends most of her time just. It's not her primary profession, is what I'm trying to say. Don't know where she's at the moment. She moves around a little bit. Why do you need that?
I'm trying to learn more about my magic, and I was hoping to compare notes with somebody outside of Bastion. I don't know what Giselle needs.
I don't know. Just my magic feels weird lately, and I wanted to talk to somebody about it.
Y'all really like to talk, don't you? Well,
Of course I do.
she just squints at you like she wasn't expecting a kind of response. Funny. She says, well, girl's name is Bruna. Like I said, she did spend some time with one of them elves, but don't know that she can help you. I certainly can't help you. I'm sorry. I do appreciate your condolences, young man. Like, looks at you, Yinkin, nods her head. I mean, you could find more of your kind, you know. Elves seem to know about it. Kind of shrugs.
That is the plan, but it would be foolish not to ask here as well.
I suppose not. She just kind of stands there and stares at you, waiting to see like what you'll do, like if you're done.
Have a nice day, ma'am.
She just nods.
I've got a name now, so again, just ask around. Has anybody seen Bruna, please?
Okay. No, John. A couple of the folks say that they see her like down at the base of the rock, kind of hiking around, walking. Mostly they see her trying to like whistle at birds, and they see her trying to talk to squirrels. Like, a lot of them think she's just kind of crazy. Like, you get the impression from the way they talk about her that like they just think she's a little unstable.
Every time they mention something about that, I just kind of give a sidelong look at Giselle.
Yeah, so does Faith.
Actually, Yinkin's eyes light up a little bit and just looks a little bit harder.
Yeah, and folks they just kind of look at you and answer your question and kind of try to shuffle off. Like, if they see your excitement, they're just like, oh no, another crazy one. Like, they're not trying to, you know, stick around and engage with you. So, what are you doing?
Editing the notes. I'm assuming we find her?
You can look for her.
Then that's what I'm doing.
Are you all going together?
Sure.
I think so.
I guess Faith's just along for the ride until we're ready to go.
Okay. Yeah, and it's probably been a couple hours. You're losing a little bit of daylight, taking your time. I mean, you could definitely hunt this person out. And it's going to take you a little while to find her. And, you know, you see how the river bends through the rocks and what have you. And it takes you some time. You find some folk out by the river, you know, washing their clothes, getting fresh water. You know, some folks are doing some farming or shepherding or what have you. And asking around, you know, they'll kind of point you in a general direction. where the river kind of bends, but further away from where everyone else is. And you head out that way. You kind of hike that way, and before long, you see that there is, in fact, a young human woman. She's probably, at first glance, maybe early 20s. Her hair's kind of like braided up, looks kind of a mess, like she hasn't been tending to it, and she's got her feet in the water at the river, and she's just like as you approach, she's just kind of like looking around. Like, she's, like, looking at the sky and looking at the water, and she's got this kind of, like, goofy smile on her face.
Good morning. Are you Bruna?
And like, without turning around, she just says, I am. Who are you?
My name is Yinkin.
Well, hello, Yinkin.
Good morning. I was told that you know something about magic and that you could talk to animals.
Who told you I could talk to animals?
Well, that you talked to animals.
Oh. Well, see, that's different now, because...
Yes, but can you do the first one?
And, like, for the first time, she kind of turns and you see a side profile of her face. You know, just kind of small face, small nose, you know, but bright blue eyes. She says, like, she gets this almost, like, wicked-looking grin on her face. She says, why, can't you? Kind of
Yes, I
playful.
can.
Oh, I see. You're just like everybody else then. Well, you can make your way.
I can talk to animals too. Well, one in particular, actually.
And she
Hey,
she just kind of wrinkles her nose and like turns her face back to just look in the water. Don't know why you'd come all this way just to mess with me.
I assure
I-
you, we're not messing with you.
I am going to cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
I'm assuming there's some kind of nearby creature.
There's a bunch of creatures in the vicinity. There's a couple birds flying overhead. You see some of the fish moving in the stream. There's, you know, probably a couple like squirrels or weasels or something out in the distance.
I am going to go find a squirrel
Okay.
and just very calmly ask it to go sit in her lap.
And the squirrel just like looks up at you, cocks its head, like shakes
And
its
in
head
exchange,
like...
in exchange, I will give him a nut.
Well, and the squirrel just like looks at you confused, like it's almost like shrugging in a squirrel language, just like, all right. And the squirrel just like runs over and hops into Bruna's lap, and she starts petting it. And Bruna says, "Oh, did you miss me?" And the squirrel like pops up and like puts its front paws up on her upper chest and just like starts sniffing her face.
Of course, you already knew it.
She says to you, I already know all the animals out here. We trade names.
Oh, that's a very important thing.
I know. Guess you weren't lying, though.
I try not to. It's a bad habit.
Everyone else thinks I'm crazy. I mean, I
I
kind of
don't
am.
think you're crazy, just different.
No, I'm crazy. A little bit. Not a lot. And, like, you see the squirrel kind of, like, bunch up and, like, start to curl down into her lap like it's going to take a nap. She's, like, petting his little head.
You officially know more about my magic than I do, and I was wondering if you could provide me any information.
She shrugs. I just talk to animals. It's all I really learned how to do. Wasn't a good student. People are tough, you know? Animals, they just are. Much rather be an animal.
Speaking from experience, it's not quite what you'd think.
Well, I done it a couple times. I liked what I liked it, but couldn't hold it for very long.
Neither can I. I didn't know I could do it until yesterday.
Oh, that must have been quite a shock for you.
Yes.
For all of us.
It was really cool, though.
It was strange to have a tail.
And
You're
you
really
you
soft.
hear Bruna kind of quietly giggle to herself when you say that. She doesn't say anything. She just laughs.
All right. thank you for your time, Bruna. I have only one last question, if you don't mind. Who did you learn from?
Oh, there was this elf. He's kind of a dick.
From what I understand, that's kind of the hallmark of our people.
Hey.
You see her face kind of scrunch up in like some mild confusion, like you just shit talked your entire people. She's like, well, this elf man, he came up and tried to pass on some of his wisdom or whatever. That's what he claimed. Goes by the name of Talvin. Came up from down south, was trying to trade information and whatnot. He said I was the only one he could find who had any sort of, well, he called it, like you can see her hunting for the word, competency. I don't know about that. Sounds kind of insulting to me, but what do I know? I'm a crazy person.
Crazy's not bad.
Why do you think you're crazy?
Sweetheart, I talk to animals. Everybody tells me I'm crazy. People tell you enough.
I can talk to animals too. But, well, one, it's these, and everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I know I'm not.
Didn't you say that wasn't actually an animal, though?
Well, he's technically a manifestation of magic or something like that. I don't know. It's weird.
Y'all are pretty weird.
Some might
It's
even
mostly
call us
just her.
crazy.
She laughs. Well, I guess I can't hate you anyway.
I
Give it
appreciate
time.
that.
Y'all live here now?
On our way out, actually.
Oh. Wish you'd have come by sooner, but each your own, I guess. Gotta go where the winds blow. You see, like, the little squirrel kind of jumps up and, like stretches out and, like, jumps off her lap and, like, runs back to the water. She kind of lets him go.
Mel locked up, just to give you a heads up.
She locked up? That's a weird way to put that.
Yeah, exactly.
You mean she crashed? Oh,
Yes.
okay. That's, yeah, all right. So, she just kind of sits there quietly with her back turned, and she just keeps, watching the, just watching the sky, watching the animals.
Thank you for your time, Bruno.
Of course. Y'all be safe out there.
You too. It might not be all that safe in here, so who knows?
Shrugs.
I say goodbye to the squirrel.
The squirrel just kind of, like, you see it, like, rub its knuckles together, just like runs off.
I do find an acorn to give it, though.
Okay.
That's everything I wanted.
Okay. Anyone else?
All right, then. Shall we make for the exit?
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well. I don't think she knows anything about arcane. She
No,
doesn't
but
seem
I
to-
have the name of somebody who knows about mine.
Yeah. I hope you find him.
Makes two of us.
I'm sure we can find. I mean, assuming we make it there, I'm sure someone in the Elven place will maybe be able to tell you what's wrong with your magic.
Just
Hello?
We've made it this far.
Okay. All right. So, you're gonna just head out?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta stop Googling mean sitcom mothers, because I can see the actress, and I can't for the life of me think of what show it is. It's driving me crazy. Anyway.
Professor McGonagall, but meaner. What's her actress name? She was also in Downton Abbey.
Mrs. Garrett.
Who the hell is... Oh, no. Still no. Anyway. We should really stop these shenanigans. So, yeah, you guys start to head out. You head south. Now, Gija's staying behind, but everyone else thus far seems to be staying with you. Dala is with you. Jalen, the boy. The girl whose name I forgot. John, help me out.
The who?
I think
Chandra?
Chandra, thank you.
Chandra's with us?
Yes, she's you know
I didn't.
swallowed
Okay.
her fear, but she's still with you. Basically, everyone is with you except for Jija.
Wow. I didn't expect that.
Well, they would have stayed behind, but I mean, some weird shit happened, and they got spooked. And like I said, Jalen wants to stay with you. Like the young boy, he's, you know, he
Yeah, I
sees.
figured he would be the only one.
Yeah. And yeah, so you guys, you headed south. You can see being in the Southcom, you can see that, you've got a little bit of a hillier region directly south of you, but southeast is where it starts to kind of head into more of a wetlands kind of marshy territory. And you head out. Now, from the map and from what you gathered from the people who made you the map, that woman at the general store, it could probably take you. Again, it depends on how you get there, but probably up to about 7 days to get down into the marsh proper. Might take you about 5 days to hit the edge of it. So you've got a few days of travel ahead of you. And so you break out. You start hiking to the south. And you head over some of this like hillier terrain, and what you start to notice is after a number of hours is that you seem to be descending. So you can almost feel it, that you're getting closer to sea level. That not only is Haven Rock a rock that's quite tall, but it actually sits up away from the sea. But the further south you get, it starts a gradual shift where you feel like you're moving closer to sea level. You can even see it as you're moving along. And you pass through this, like, it's slightly hilly. It's nothing like, we're not talking about like hillocks and dales and stuff, but just moving into a little bit of a grassier territory, passing through these hills. Nothing much to see, very little of interest that you find. Something just fell. What the fuck fell? Is anybody doing anything, talking, anything happening while you're traveling? I should Google traveling music.
I'm gonna have Mr. Sprinkles go ahead and scout.
Okay.
Just while we're walking, you guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, on the phone. Faith will actually approach Marcus. Just kind of gently nudge him and I don't think I ever thanked you. I noticed you fixed my flute.
Oh yeah, no, it was no trouble. Felt bad that I wasn't able to before you performed, but seemed like you didn't. The sharp note didn't really affect your skills at all, anyway. So quite talented with that thing.
Thank you. It's good knowing there's somebody I can trust when they go wrong. And it's just comforting to have you with us for that. And she's really shy about the whole thing, even.
Marcus will probably turn and look directly at Faith and say, "It's kind of you to say," and I don't know if it's because you think of yourself this way or just because people have told you this so much, but just because you have horns doesn't make you a demon. There are plenty of demonic-like people who look perfectly uninteresting.
She'll laugh. And the red of her cheeks would actually get a little darker. She'll just kind of nod and move off at that. Very, again, shy and blushing.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you guys continue traveling for the day. You make good progress. Of course, your travel was cut because you did spend some time the South Com and talking to Bruna and what have you. Weather's getting a little warmer. Partly cloudy day, nothing terrible, no rain. But breeze. The breeze is broken up by the hills, so it's a little warmer yet. And you continue heading southeast generally. So you get a day's worth of travel. And maybe we'll just, as long as everyone's fine, and I don't assume you're gonna have an issue, we'll just kind of like montage cut to you guys like getting pretty close to the marsh. It's probably been like 2 days. Maybe we'll say 3. So you guys have been traveling, taking breaks, taking rests, having any relevant discussions or what have you. You do start to see, as you're hitting, the edge of from the hills where the hills break to the marsh, you see, and again, you've been traveling and you can tell that you're clearly getting closer to sea level. Things are getting warmer, more humid as you're traveling. The second day in, it's very gray and cloudy. You get some light rain, nothing heavy, no thunderstorms, anything of the like. Just kind of miserable traveling conditions, basically. And
Are there still just like regular trees along the route? We're not like in Badlands.
It's not Badlands, but there's not a lot of trees here. You might find some like sporadically around, but this is not forest by any stretch. There's a few trees here and there.
I know. I was asking because I know in Xanthars it says one of the things you can do with a woodcarver's kit is make bolts and arrows. During a short or long rest, you can craft a couple. So I don't know how much ammo we got with the short bow or how much ammo we have for the bolt or the crossbow we have left, but I'd spend one of the nights making 5 of each, maybe, if I had found the wood for it.
And I'm just curious, and you tell me, how are you cutting down the trees?
Karate chop.
He's a monk. He invented a new kick. It's called the tree chop kick.
I mean, I can chop boards in half.
I mean, do you have like an axe? Do you have something to, like, what is the leather, or not the leather? Sorry,
it has a small saw, a chisel, and
okay.
So I probably couldn't cut a tree down, like not even a sapling, but I could cut a small branch off a tree.
Sure, exactly. Yeah,
and then use that to make a couple arrows and bolts out of.
Exactly. Sure. Okay. I was just curious. Yeah, that totally makes sense to me. Yeah. So yeah, you spend some time making some bolts and some proper arrows. And yeah, you guys travel along for those days, and like I said, a couple decent days, one pretty miserable traveling day. You're getting closer to the marsh, and you can see that like the hills break into this flat, almost massive, like infinite looking landscape of just wetlands. The image I have in my mind, and I'm probably the only one who's seen it, of course. Let's see if I can find an image of it, is from a television show called True Detective. When they're in like Louisiana, you get those huge kind of wetlands. There's no trees. There's just like streams and rivers that kind of flow back and forth, and like huge. It's mostly water with just that kind of tall grass. Does everyone know what I mean?
I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
I'll try to find an image for it because it's just beautiful imagery. But like I said, very, very few trees. This kind of works. I'll post it in Discord. Just imagine it without the telephone poles. You might have to click on that because I didn't download it. But mostly it's just flat land. It's wet and it's marshy and kind of gross. Very few trees, if any. That's a good picture. Again, too many trees though. And yeah, it just opens up into this massive kind of wetland of open sky. Very few trees. There's no road or path that you can see through it. And it just looks sprawling. It looks absolutely huge. So yeah, you kind of hit an area that looks like that.
This looks like it's going to be unpleasant to walk through.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to buy boots.
If we have any like plastic bread bags, I'd like to wrap them around my shoes.
Yeah, you definitely don't have that.
Uh,
Sorry, they haven't invented those yet.
Jeez.
Let's see, this one isn't bad either. Yeah, kind of what Conrad posted is closer to what I'm thinking. It's kind of a top-down view, but yeah, just wide open space, very few trees, no construction, no buildings, nothing that you can see like that. And yeah, you're, like I said, it's taken you about 3 days to hit the edge of, and this area was marked on your map. They generally, the people at least at Haven Rock, refer to this place as the Shade Mark. And yeah, you've hit the edge of the marsh.
Now, Rocky Wea told us about when they used to trade with the elves. They would cross. They'd meet somewhere like about halfway.
Mm-hmm.
Did she say they met past the Shade Mark or before it usually? I don't remember exactly what she had said about where they met up in this.
I
in
think
this
the
halfway.
implication was that you had to cross some of it.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
The elves wouldn't
Because they
pass
see us before
From the forests
Yeah.
before, yeah.
Yeah, they would see
okay.
you long. That was exactly that they would see you long before you saw them.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you guys, presumably, unless you tell me otherwise, you begin your trek into the marsh.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Okay. As has been
Nowhere else to
suggested,
go.
it's pretty awful. Like one step into it, and your feet just sloosh into.
I have boots.
Yeah, I mean, it's even with boots, like your feet maybe stay kind of dry, but it's nothing like the kind of travel you've done thus far. You know, the Badlands were pretty stable, rocky, desolate and dangerous for other reasons. Of course, the mountains were relatively stable. This is just disgusting. There's water, there's this long grass, and it's just about the worst traveling condition, because even if the sky is clear, you're having to trek through, several inches, if not a foot or better, of water, plus the long grass doesn't make it easy. There's bugs absolutely everywhere, mosquitoes, flies, all sorts of things you've never seen before. It's not pleasant. But you start your trek. Jalen has some problems. Chandra's probably going to have some difficulty here too. In fact,
Old man as
the
well.
old man is going to have some problems too. Yeah, he walks with a cane, for Christ's sake. So yeah,
Just leave
it's
him behind.
what's that?
Just leave the old man behind.
In the swamp?
We're not leaving anyone behind.
We want to take the old man into the swamp of sadness.
You tell me.
Want to? No, but he chose to come, which means he keeps up and he's part of the group.
So yeah, you guys start your trek into the Shade Mark. You're slowed down by the people who are with you. Jalen is trying at first to kind of hop from what little dry land he can find to the next to speed up his progress, but it's not very simple. And you guys begin your travel. It's slow, it's tedious, all the bugs everywhere. You do occasionally see far above you the silhouettes of birds flying well overhead. And, you probably, started your travel in the Shade Mark at first late. I'm guessing that you would have waited to give yourself the full day. And
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do this at night.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, you're traveling along. Some areas are a little easier to traverse. They sit a little higher so that you can kind of climb up, maybe dry off for a minute, but it really won't matter. The old man seems to be using his cane almost to his benefit, like he's trying to stab it into the water to try to find some sort of truck to be able to help him move forward. Chandra and Jalen. Jalen's almost making a game of it, but Chandra's still not. Let's say she's not able to laugh just yet.
I'm definitely using my quarterstaff to like find the drier areas to walk.
For sure. But I mean, that process, of course, slows you down quite a bit. But you guys, you're making your progress, slow but sure.
Faith has never loved having a tail more than this moment.
That balance, though.
I'm going to start looking for camp, a place to set up camp for the night fairly early in the afternoon, just because if we have to stop, I'd like it to be on a patch of dry land that's large enough for us to stop on and not try and go through this at night.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Let's sacrifice time for safe places to camp.
Okay.
So if we find one, or where we could travel for a couple more hours, but we find a safe spot, we should.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Since you, Yinkin, were the one who proposed that, why don't you roll me a perception check? I think that Marcus can give you advantage, or Marcus, you can make a separate check if you'd like.
I'll give him advantage.
Okay, so Yinkin, why don't you
I'll
make
just
me a
help him.
perception check with advantage? Oh my god.
Oh my god, I found a leech somewhere it does not belong!
I mean, yeah,
There's a bug in your eye.
Yeah, leeches are definitely a problem. I think what you find is like a mosquito nest. Like you just sort of walk on it. And they just sort of swarm up on you, and you have to like panic and like kick them off. It's mostly you take no damage, but it's disgusting probably, depending on your view of mosquitoes.
He points out another spot, and I'm like, that's literally a fire ant's nest.
Yeah, exactly.
Every spot you point out has the worst bugs at it.
Yeah. So unfortunately, as yet, you're not really able to find. I think what you do find, actually, you do find something, Yinkin, but you're the only one who sees it. Is that you're kind of walking along and you're trying to find these dry areas, and of course, everything here is water. For a brief moment, the tiniest, infinitesimal second, you see what looks like a drowned corpse in the water, and you blink, and then that's when you realize there's like mosquitoes on you, and you start like shaking them off. But you're not able to find any sort of dry land yet.
I don't like this place.
It's disgusting.
Everything is awful.
Marcus, maybe you should. You said it yourself. I'm finding nothing but insects. I've had enough of them. You find the land.
Quite frankly, it could be worse. If you think just a few weeks ago, we couldn't find water anywhere.
I wouldn't want to drink this water.
Yes, I will be creating water this evening. This is... I might cast it more than once just so we can rinse this off ourselves.
Thank you.
That would be appreciated. Also, washing our clothing.
I never thought I'd miss soap.
Fuck you, Sean.
Okay, so, you guys are moving along. The sun is starting to set, and it's actually kind of a lovely sunset because the sun kind of pulls down and it begins to illuminate the marsh. And there's those like the kind of gas that you only get in like a mild swamp or something, and it changes the color of the sunset, and you get these weird purples and oranges that you don't normally see. And it's quite lovely. You know the bugs start to quiet down, but other creatures start to wake up. But you're getting all these different noises and things, and it's a different experience for sure. How much time do you spend? I guess this is a relative question. Do you look for do you all start hunting for a dry place? I mean, you've been traveling now for, we're getting close to dusk. So how do you find a place to camp?
Well, I have a proposal actually. Before it takes too long, how many people in the party have rope?
I don't.
I do.
I think I do.
If
Yeah,
we're
I got
able
these
to
for-
maybe create almost like a net type of thing, we can create like a bunch of cots from tree to tree and just kind of sleep more or less in the trees.
Like I said, there's not a lot of trees. Like I said, more marsh, more wetlands than swamp.
We might be able to find like 2 or 3 trees together at best, but
As the sun starts going down, Faith would start looking for dry land for something, a cave, anything.
I'm gonna have Mr. Sprinkles help look as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
almost
I mean,
For
fool.
an extra set of eyes.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I need to take a small break.
if the cot thing doesn't work, then yeah, have to start looking for land.
Can I get 10 minutes to cast Speak with Animals? I'm going to ask something that lives here where dry land is.
Good idea.
Okay, so you can do that. But while you're doing that, let's do what everyone else is doing. So, Gabriel, you're looking for trees that are clumped together. So why don't you make me a perception check? If anyone's helping him, 11. Yeah, probably. You can see some trees off in the distance. They're probably at least a mile away, which is going to take you, more than 10 minutes to get to, because obviously hiking through this terrain is difficult. But you might find 2, maybe 3 trees tops that are relatively close enough that you could try to put something together.
Yeah.
While Yinkin is casting that, Marcus, what are you doing? Anything?
I'd probably go out maybe the opposite direction that Gabriel was looking for trees / dry land and look for dry land myself.
Okay. Why don't you give me a perception check? Okay. You do find a patch of land to fit all of you. I think there's 9 of you in total. Is going to be really, really tight. It would fit maybe 5 people comfortably. 9 people is going to be a stretch. The edges are clearly sloped off. So if someone gets too close, there's a possibility they're going to roll into the water. I mean, that's a risk out here. But as you are, and it's probably a good little ways away from where you're going. You're walking in the opposite direction of Gabriel. You kind of pass this patch of tall grass, and it stands out to you because it almost looks like it's rotting, like there's some sort of mold on it. It's a different color than you've seen. It's got these weird blacks, and it almost looks like there's a webbing growing through it, not on it. But it definitely stands out to you, like something is odd about it. But you do find that.
How close is that to is it that growing on the land or just right nearby it?
It's not on the land, but it's close. It's quite close to it. Clearly within 100 feet or so.
Maybe Yinkin might know more about what this is if it's a disease, but
I mean, you can investigate it if you'd like. It's up to you.
I could, but I don't think Marcus doesn't think he would know. He would be able to figure anything out about this.
Okay.
Plants in general, not his forte. Deadwood is what he's good at working with.
Okay. All right. So, Giselle, you said you're sending out Mr. Sprinkles. Before we get there, Faith, are you doing anything?
Well, I said I was gonna look for any kind of cave. Maybe if there's, I know it's mostly flat, but if there's anything kind of raised, hillish, even if it's moss covered, see if I can find something like that.
You should also give me a perception check.
Nope.
Yeah, you find nothing at all.
Oh god, this is bugging my hair.
Yeah. You find some more mosquitoes, just gross bugs, maybe a leech or 2. Giselle, where are you sending Mr. Sprinkles?
I'm gonna have him circle, kind of like a spiral out from where we are.
And what do you have him looking for?
Any kind of dry land or possibly hostile looking animals or creatures.
Okay.
Anything out of the ordinary that doesn't look like it belongs.
How do we know what belongs out here?
And
we don't.
And remind me, Mr. Sprinkles is right now what, a raven?
He's a raven, yes.
Okay. Why don't you have him make a perception check?
Well, I'd probably be looking through his eyes at this point, so I'll just roll my own.
Shit.
That was awful. I
Roll
can't
20's
roll
been
above
so
a 5.
cool.
I can't roll above a 5 in any fucking game I play in like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Mr. Sprinkles. I think even as a familiar in Raven form, he gets distracted. Because I'm pretty sure ravens eat bugs, or at least he would chase them. So like he's like flying around in spirals, and then he sees something that grabs his attention, and just sort of swoops and like is completely not paying attention to what he's supposed to. Like you're looking through his eyes, right? But he still controls, where he's flying, and he just gets distracted, and unfortunately, he's not able to find any major source of dry land.
All right.
Back to Yinkin. So you're casting Speak with Animals. About this time, you finished your ritual spell. What kind of animal are you finding? What are you looking for to speak with?
Anything that isn't an insect, to be perfectly honest. Again, I don't know what kind of animals are in a marsh. Or Yinkin
yeah,
doesn't.
you've probably heard, and especially as the night begins to set, that you can hear croaking, which makes you think frogs. So there's frogs. There might be. You haven't seen any, but I guess you wouldn't know that, so I won't say that. What am I doing? I had these set up on a different. Didn't I have these set up? I know I'm talking to myself. Shut up. Yeah, you're probably hearing some frog sounds.
I'll hunt down a frog then.
Okay. Sorry, my organization apparently is a mess. I thought I had this all worked out. Yeah, so you find maybe like a small toad that's kind of like hopping and looking around, and you kind of move and the water like splooshes for a moment, and the thing like turns to look because it clearly thinks a predator, and then its big bulbous eyes are just staring at you.
And I'm going to ask it for the nearest patch of very, very, very big patch of dry land.
Now, of course, saying very big patch is going to be problematic because it's relative, right? The toad is small, so anything bigger than, your size, or anything your size is going to seem like a land, like a continent to it.
Yeah, but Yinkins know at this.
So, I don't know. Is there like an appropriate role for this? I don't know what.
Animal handling?
Yeah. All right. Well, but I'll give you advantage because you speak its language, so it's not like nice. Okay.
Finally.
Yeah. Yeah. So the toad kind of like looks at you a little confused, and then you hear just like ribbit, and then it like looks and it realizes you're speaking its language, and it says, "Not many."
Which way is the closest? Hop the direction of the closest just once.
And it sort of just hops in the direction that Marcus went. It says landmass that way. Then you see the toad kind of like looking around, getting its bearings. It's like large, dry, safe, and like it hops in a direction that's like pretty far. Like it hops basically directly south of you, where you would be presumably heading anyway. It's more south than southeast, but all it says is like large, dry, safe. But there's no indication of how far.
You expect to know how far? Why safe? Why is the other one not safe?
It says gray walkers like you, but and then it sort of like trails off.
I'm just gonna nod a bit, thank him, and tell him which way I found the mosquito nest.
And he thanks you and like starts to like eagerly jump off. He's gonna go have a feast.
I'm gonna look at Gabriel
Vengeance!
and Marcus and go, everybody's talking to animals. What the hell?
Yeah, it seems to be spreading.
It's a trend.
Fairness, I admit I'm using magic to do it as I slap a mosquito.
You say that like I'm not using magic to do it.
You said yours can.
It is a.
You see, this is the first time you've mentioned that.
No, it's not. I literally showed Gabriel that I could summon and unsummon it.
No, you just told us you were familiar with it, and that's all.
No, I didn't. I literally showed you I could unsummon.
Anyway,
But then you talked to a chicken that you had nothing. You didn't create that chicken.
Right.
anyway, the frog said that the nearest safe patch of land is to the south, and that the nearest dry patch of land is, and I gestured towards Marcus, but there's something called a gray walker over there, and it's not safe. But I don't know if that means not safe for a frog or not safe at all.
Well,
The hell is a
the
Grey Walker?
You want me to
He
have-
said, like us, but. And
You want me to have
it's
my
a,
familiar
it's a
check it out?
code.
the landmass over that way might fit 4 or 5 of us, but probably not 9.
If we were to sleep back to back, maybe. Not laying
Standing
down,
up.
but just, well, not standing, but just lying back to back. So you're not laying flat, but you're not laying in the water either. Basically, it takes up half as much space.
You mean on our
I mean,
sides?
Like, I would sit down, and then you would sit behind me, and we would lean on each other's backs, so back to back. We'd basically be resting on each other.
it might not be the best sleep, but it might be the best we can get.
At least
it's
if
dry
doesn't,
sleep.
I'd rather keep walking south. Besides, safe versus not safe.
There's also some plant that looks sick, or maybe it's an animal that lives in it. I don't know. It was like had this kind of like splotchy webbing stuff growing as part of it.
It's just now
look-
dusk, right?
Yeah, it's just. Oh, nice. Yes, it's just getting. You have maybe an hour left.
Mm.
I have no idea how far south, though. I mean, even if I asked it how many jumps, what's that equal?
Can you send Mr. Sparkles, whatever, the bird?
Mr. Sprinkles, yes. I did suggest that, but nobody was listening.
So maybe send the bird south and we'll investigate this other patch of land for whatever the hell a Grey Walker is.
All right.
Better plan than I have.
Is that what you're doing?
If somebody wants to guide me, I can look through his eyes.
Just
I'll just be
if-
blind while I do that.
yes, but if we're expecting trouble, we can wait for word back.
That, and let's face it, where you step is not the same as where we step. We figured that out even a tiny bit off and you sink.
Very true. That would
I don't like this, for the
probably
record. I
take-
almost lost a boot.
It's disgusting, and even prestidigitation doesn't work.
So, yeah, we have a plan.
So, Giselle is going to send Mr. Sprinkles out, and the rest of you are going to go investigate the land that Marcus found.
Yes.
Yes.
So, I guess the only way you can, because can Giselle walk when? I don't think you can walk when if you're looking through that creature's eyes, because then you would literally.
Yeah, I can. I'm just blind, and I can't hear.
Blind, deaf, and blind
so
and deaf.
You'll need somebody to walk you.
I
Yeah,
thought she was just sending
I'm-
Mr. Sprinkles and not
gonna
going
send
through his
him.
eyes.
Yeah, I'll just send him out. As long as he doesn't go more than 100 feet away, I think I can still talk to him.
You can also send him with a command just to fly south and fly
So it
back and
finds-
tell you
yeah.
how far.
Yeah, I mean, I can't look through his eyes more than 100 feet out anyway, so I might as well just send him out.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So you send Mr. Sprinkles south, and the rest of you all start hiking in the general direction of the mound that Marcus found, which is a weird way to put that. So, yeah. Basically, you're gonna get to the mound. Not Marcus. Sorry, Mr. Sprinkles. It's gonna be a lot more than 100 feet. Is the gist? I'll tell you now. Like,
All right, that's fine. Yeah.
okay, like you can send him south, but it's gonna be much more than
Yeah,
the range in
send
which he
him
can
south.
speak. Like, what is it? The range a mile? I think that he could speak with you.
I thought it was 100 feet, but it could be a mile.
Now
Let me
that-
double check.
I think that
I think a mile is
A
something
mile
else.
is fine
but-
steed.
Okay.
Yeah, fine familiar is 100 feet.
Okay.
or if you're the Pact of the Chain Warlock, you have infinite.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's where, because Jace played a warlock, and that's what I was thinking about. Okay. Cool. So you guys, you find this slab of land that Marcus found, and it is as I described. I mean, it is dry, and it is, a decent size. It's going to be tight, even if you sleep back to back. Like as Marcus described, it will not be a comfortable sleep. You might be dry. There's a possibility that if someone like doesn't sleep well, they could roll into the water. But that's up to you.
Do I see the diseased tree with webbing?
Well, first of all, it's just long grass. It's not a tree.
Oh, sorry.
Second,
Tree.
I guess that's up to Marcus. If Marcus points it out, then yes.
I would point it out to Yinkin specifically, and because I want him to look at it since I know he was a gardener.
I will attempt to figure it out.
So, how do you Huh?
Huh?
I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so how are you going to go look at it? Like how are you going to You want to make a nature check? You could investigate it. You could It's up to you.
I am going to make a nature check, but I'll admit I'm not going to touch this directly because he said it looks like something was growing on it, and that's very rarely good. So if anything, I'm poking these leaves gently with a quarterstaff to move him to get a better angle and see.
Okay. So you could make. I would let you either if you're moving it around, nature check or possibly just perception too. They both kind of work. I'm guessing you're going to take nature because it's probably higher for you.
Actually, perception's much higher.
Okay.
If I could roll it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's basically just as Marcus described. Unfortunately, you're not really able to, you see basically everything that Marcus described, the kind of weird webbing, the discoloration. It seems to kind of, not bend, but it's almost like it's drooping over, like it's, rather than like reaching toward the sun, trying to get that good sunlight, it seems like it's not quite dying, but something's definitely off about it.
Yeah, and I'm just going to shake my head. I've never seen anything like it on the farm, but every other plant I know grows skyward. This isn't.
I mean, anyone else who wants to investigate, because Yinkin can't roll for shit.
Would it be safe? Would it be safe to say that Faith, living in the conditions she did as a younger child, would know what a spider web's intention is, and if you trigger the web, the spider attacks? Would that be a logical?
Yeah, I mean, but again, remember that it looks like the webbing is growing, it's not webbing on it, it's in the plant. It looks like there's if you've ever seen someone, especially they do this in sci-fi films where their veins and things start turning black, and you can see it on their face, that's what it looks like happening to the plant.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking when you see caterpillar cocoons in the trees, that kind of webbing between the
No.
reeds.
This
Okay.
is in the leaves. It's in the actual the green of the.
Oh, okay.
I'll take a crack at it if she doesn't want to.
Well, she was just gonna reach out with mage hand and kind of touch it, disturb it, see what it does. We've found plants that are alive, essentially, is her idea. And since Yinkin has said this seems off, she wants to see if it has a similar violent reaction as the cactus.
Good idea.
Okay. So give me.
Lincoln argues that all plants are alive, but that's about it.
So you could. It sounds like you're either. It
Sentient?
sounds like investigation or perception.
Yeah, I'll learn investigation just because that's more what I'm trying to do.
Awesome.
These fucking rolls.
Yeah, you guys are just shit at this. Good God. Yeah, it's. I'm really not going to give you any more information for a 6. Like everything I've been
Yeah, no,
describing.
that's fine.
We have had 3 rolls above 10 so far. That's
right.
it.
Yeah, this has been. Ugh.
All right, time to go to bed. I'm tired.
Giselle, did you want to try your hand?
I mean, I can't. We can't hurt. We've gotten so low that it's.
How are you? What are you doing? How are you doing it?
Shit. I don't want to touch it. Can I just poke at it with my quarterstaff a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. I guess.
All right, I'm
Sounds
gonna like.
Sounds like investigation. I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, the one of
That's
you
not
who's
bad.
standing the furthest back, just poking at it with a stick.
Just poke it with a stick. That'll work.
So what happens, what you notice is that as you're taking your quarterstaff from a little bit of a distance and poking and prodding at it, you see that nothing about the plant changes. The plant doesn't move. It doesn't like suddenly grab your quarterstaff. But as you push your quarterstaff down, you kind of part some of the long grass, and your quarterstaff goes in, and you sort of expect it to kind of hit water, right? There's water all around you. That's a reasonable conclusion to make. But your quarterstaff ends up thudding against something like in the grass or underneath it that seems to be in the water. And it doesn't, it's pretty clear to you something about this, the way it hit something solid, but not like rock, it hit something, and that's
something
what's
alive.
well, you don't know. It hit something, and you pull your quarterstaff back, and the long grass again, like it doesn't move. It's just still there, black and all webby and gross.
So would it be safe to say it's kind of, I guess the best that I think is like a fruit. So you have that solid outside of like an orange, but if you press, there is some give to it.
Maybe, I guess that's a decent way to put it.
It doesn't move at all.
No.
I don't trust it.
And we could just set fire to it.
Is anything going to be
That's not a
dry
bad
enough to
idea.
set fire
And
to?
as this is happening, the sun is setting further. The sun is basically cresting the horizon. It's a beautiful sunset.
All the toxic gas in the marshes.
Yeah, it's starting to blaze, and it's
At
quite
this
it's
point,
quite
I
lovely.
think we have what we have. Has your raven even come back yet?
Nope.
He doesn't feel like he's dead, though, does he?
No.
Okay.
Well, it goes without
Does anybody
saying,
have
if we're going to
stakes?
stay here, we definitely need to keep a watch.
Oh, yes.
We need to clear this grass, whatever it is.
And we should probably set stakes. If we can. But let's get to the land and clear ourselves off a bit. I'm sick of standing in this.
All right, so you guys gonna just start clearing off the land in which you plan to camp?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so the sun is setting. You guys are using the last little bits of light you have to clear it off, to move some things around. Like I said, tight squeeze for all parties involved. It's not going to be comfortable. But you're finishing cleaning it off. The sun crests down and disappears, and all those beautiful, toxic colors kind of fade with the sunset. And you guys are fixing, the camp and getting ready to bed down. And then you start to hear a bubbling, gurgling sound. Like something's moving in the water. And it's not too far from you.
I look directly at the plant. At the grass, I should say.
Okay. So as Yankin, you look over, you see that the grass seems to begin to part a little bit, like it's moving on its own. And then you see what looks like this water dripping from this blackish gray clawed hand that reaches up through the grass, and this creature begins to stand up inside, like above the grass. And the thing's skin is gray and its hair is white. Its eyes are almost purely red. And it just sort of like shakes its head out, and you see like water like spurt out of one of its ears. And you see these bright red, just disgusting eyes staring at you. And then you see that the thing has a sword and a bow. And then behind you, somewhere in the marsh, you start to hear more movement in the water. And what you see is, let me find my token. So I think you could probably figure out what this is, but I will show you.
So that's a Grey Walker.
It looks like this.
I'm sure they're here to help.
Oh shit! It's white.
So, yeah, that is going to be initiative. So, why don't you roll your initiative? Make sure you click your token first, please. Somebody rolled well. Da-da-da.
Yeah, one of the most useless combatants in the party.
Are you fucking kidding me? Did I not?
Nope.
Oh, no, it's right there. I'm a goddamn asshole. I mean, I'm not. Shut up, you are.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Everyone roll? Anyone not roll? Okay, so I think I rolled the best, which, haha, sweet.
You did it.
So, yeah. Look, Mom, I did it. No hands. So, each of these whites is staring at you, and you see this water dripping from them. Skin.
Wait, how many are there?
What's that?
How many are there?
2. There's one basically in front of you and one behind you. The one behind you is they're about equidistant, but you know they're still at a decent distance from you.
Okay.
So, the first one is gonna shoot. I guess I should roll to figure out who they hit. Well, I think no, we'll roll. Here, let me GM roll this. Copy. The first one is going to fire at Faith with a longbow. What's your AC?
13.
It misses you. The second one is gonna roll. I gotta make this smaller. At Yinkin, longbow. Also misses. And then this they actually get 2 longbow attacks each. So the one behind you is going to fire first at apparently Faith, and oh my god, sorry, I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm just rolling for it. Faith and then Yinkin. Faith first. Jesus, crit fail again, and then okay, Yinkin, what's your AC?
15.
So it rolled a 16. If anyone wanted to intervene, Faith.
I'm gonna hold.
Okay, but so it does hit you, Yinkin. You take 8 piercing damage. And that's the white's turn. Marcus, you're up.
All right, I will step forward to the one that just hit Yinkin and make a.
Now remember, these things are like 100 feet from you.
Oh, they are? Okay, wait.
They're shooting longbows.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm
picturing this very much like you guys are all packed on this dry land. You
yeah,
got
and
one in
they're
front
out.
and one. Yeah, exactly.
About 100 feet. I will, I guess, then Eldritch Blast it.
The one in front or back?
The one in front.
Okay. That definitely hits. Okay, 6 force damage. Not bad. Anything else your turn?
No.
Faith.
Fate's gonna awkwardly pull out that bow that was gifted to her. Move towards the one in front of her. I dare say she doesn't even know one is behind her. Because the front one, I'm assuming the one that shot at her twice.
Yeah, pretty much.
So she'll use her bonus action as he moves past Marcus and, just clap on the shoulder and bardic inspiration. Come on, we can take these things. And then she's going to take her shot with the short bow once she's within like 80 feet.
Okay, yeah, you can move out that, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, this is the first time you've really ever fired the bow, right? So the arrow just, you don't even see it. The arrow, like you're aiming right at this white and you fire it and somehow the arrow just like flies through the sky off, like somehow off, way off to the right. And just in the distance, you hear like a sploosh. And you can't even place where the sound was.
Shit.
Anything else your turn?
No, that's it.
Gabriel.
I think feeling the adrenaline that he did back in the temple, he's going to... Eyes are going to start to glow, and the wings start to sprout, and yeah, that pretty much just happens for this turn. That takes up my whole action.
Okay.
Am I muted?
No, I'm just reading. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I got it. All right. Realizing that might be overpowered if you can use it like I'll have to throw multiple combats against you so that that's not totally like overpowered, but
Yeah, I mean it's once per day is basically what it is.
I know, but again, that might be problematic. We'll see. Yinkin.
I am going to start walking towards one of them and take the dodge action. So
Okay.
going to close to my Prussian line has 60 feet of range, so I have to get closer.
Okay. All right. Sure. Giselle.
Okay, let's see what Jezzo can do. I'm gonna just fire a fireball at it, I guess.
Okay.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So-
1 damage.
So were you firing at the one in front of you or behind you?
The one that's closest to me, probably the one in front of me then.
I was gonna say they're same distance right now, but the one in front of you is fine.
Probably the one in front, yeah. That I can see.
I need you to roll me a 1d6.
Okay.
Oh, here we go again.
Ah, fuck. What is this one?
So you hit the thing and you feel it as it leaves your hand and it flies off and you sort of see the flames start to change color through the air almost and it slams into the white's chest and you can tell, I mean, your magic is there something off with it, but that felt weak to you. Like that felt weak. You can feel it. And it hits the white and it's just this little spark against its chest and it burns. And then right as it's about to extinguish, it sort of like reignites and burns the white's chest more. You don't know why. The white kind of like yells out a little bit. And that is your turn. Now it is the white's turn. The one in front is gonna move. It's 30 feet to towards Yinkin. But it's still not close enough to hit you with a melee. So it's gonna take another longbow attack at you, Yinkin.
Yep.
First one misses. It'll shoot again at you.
Disadvantage because I have dodge.
Unfortunately. It rolled a 16 in case, Faith, you wanted to.
Yeah. Let me roll my cutting words here. I don't think so. Fuck. 15 matches.
What's your AC?
15. But did you roll
Son of a
disadvantage
bitch.
for dodge?
Yeah, because I automatically roll disadvantage. Its disadvantage rolls a 16, so it still rolls a 15 with the cutting words.
Son of a bitch.
So
these
you
ones.
take, thankfully, you take 4 piercing damage this time, Yinkin.
All right.
The one behind you, I think seeing Gabriel like sprout wings is going to draw its attention. So Gabriel, it's going to take two. Let me think.
Okay.
Is that no? No, it's actually the one behind you is going to use its whole movement and its dash to move the 60 feet towards you, toward all of you, basically on the dry land. So it's going to use its entire action to run in your direction. Still got 40 feet to get to you, but we'll get to that. Marcus, your turn.
So, assuming I hear it getting closer to us from behind us, I'm gonna turn around and see. So it's about 40 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
If I try and get to it, am I in difficult terrain? Like, would I be at half speed trying to close the distance?
I'm thinking no, just mechanically. For combat purposes, no.
So, because I have 40 feet of movement, so I will, seeing that one's close now and no one is, like, we haven't really noticed it, we're all focusing on the other one, I will turn and run towards that one and make quarterstaff attack against it.
Okay. You do have 40 feet of movement, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. 16 does hit.
6.
It actually
then-
seems to take slightly less than that.
All right. Bonus action, unarmed strike.
Okay. Unfortunately, that one does not hit. So you just kind of like slap it, and it seems to have basically no effect. Well, you do have Faith's bardic inspiration.
That's
Oh, that's right. That we decided that wasn't attack rolls.
not attack rolls, yeah, because it's
Yeah.
war bard, not valor.
Okay. Anything else your turn?
Nope, that's action bonus movement.
No, I think it is on attack rolls. It's not on armor class or damage.
Oh, it's not. Okay, so I can do it on well, I'll burn the inspiration.
Well, hang on. Let's find out,
That's-
because this is something going
yeah.
forward we're going
You
to be
just
using
bring
a
up the
lot.
spell.
It's
It's not a spell, I don't think.
I think the
Oh,
war
yeah.
bard is the SRD one, so it should be in.
Ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so not okay. So yeah, I'll do.
You just can't attack. You can't add it to damage. That hits. So because you used it, the
Alright.
unarmed strike hits.
Nice.
Okay. Some more damage. Faith.
I was gonna do something else, but now looking that up, I lost my mind with it. I'm gonna back up because the one in front did move 30 feet closer to us, correct?
No, the one behind you moved 60 feet closer. It used its whole move.
So the one in front of us has not moved any closer.
I know, but Yinkin moved closer to it.
Okay, that's fine. So long as it's no closer to me, I'll take another awkward short bow shot.
At the one in front of you.
Yes.
Okay.
Fuck.
That does hit.
Oh, cool.
Seems, again, like you hit it, but it doesn't seem as effective as you would have thought. Now you're getting a little bit of a handle on the short bow.
Yeah.
Anything else your turn?
I will bonus action healing word on Yinkin.
Okay. Cool. Or
damn
not.
it.
Gabriel.
You'd mentioned that the one that was dashing toward us had taken interest in me, so I'm going to try to draw it away from the rest of the party.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take flight, and I want to fly 30 feet, like, I guess, over the water, away from the grass area where the rest of the party is.
Okay.
Then I'm going to cast Scorching Ray at that same one.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll hit
Hits.
with some of these.
Hits. Misses, unfortunately. First two hit.
So that is 10, 20, 23 points of fire damage. Well, 17 fire, 6 radiant.
Okay. Give me a second. Yeah, they're not immune to fire. So it's 23 you said total?
Yes.
Good hit. Good hit. All right. So that thing, like, you see it light up. I also need you to actually roll me 2d6. So another, you see this thing again, like as your Scorching Ray hits, it seems to be doing even more damage to these things. It's still standing, but you can see some of its skin sloughing off. Some of the hair on its head is scorched. It's weird because the thing just came out of the water, but it's still seeming to have that effect. I think that's your turn. So Yinkin?
I am going to continue to advance, but as I advance, I'm going to use my action to shapeshift into a draft horse.
Okay.
Neat.
Sure. Why not? Okay, so
it works
Yinkin,
surprisingly well.
Yinkin, as he's running, becomes a draft horse. Anything? Are you moving at it?
I am moving closer to it, but I'm not going to get in range this round either. You said it was 100 feet away. I did 30 the first round and then 30 this round, so it's still 40 feet away from me.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sure. So, yeah, that's real weird. Okay. That's your turn, Giselle.
Okay, I'm just gonna try and do the same thing, I guess.
The one in front or back? I'm thinking front.
One in front, yeah.
Okay. Hits. So 6 fire damage. Roll me another 1d6, please. Nice. 5. Good work. Okay.
Ooh, nice.
So, you burn it. You can see, it's still pretty well on its feet, unfortunately. Now it is the white's turn. The one that, Gabriel, you are, pulling at, it's obviously going to try to shoot at you twice.
Okay.
You have pissed it off. It crit failed twice, and then the second one hits. So, you take 9 piercing damage from the second arrow. When I said crit failed twice, I meant like its advantage and disadvantage both rolled 5, like both rolled ones. So it hits you for 9, and then the one in front. Damn, I know what I want to do, but I think it's gonna use its whole action to run at you, Yinkin, as a draft horse. Like it has to use its full 30 movement plus its dash to get to you. So it gets no attack this round, but it's going to be within melee the next round.
That's fine.
Okay, Marcus, your turn. Oh, never mind. I already said it's too late because you were attacking the one in the back, I think, Marcus.
I was attacking the one in the back.
Okay. Yep. So we'll stick with it. That's fine. What are you doing?
I will, considering my hits didn't seem to do as well as expected, I will cast Sacred Flame on this white right in front of me.
Okay. So it has to make a dex save. It makes its dex save.
Okay.
Anything else? Sorry for coughing in your ear.
I think bonus action, I will spend a key point to do patient defense. Take the dodge action.
Okay, excellent. Faith.
Let's see. All right. Again, the one that's right in front of me, I'm gonna try the short bow.
Okay, sure.
Nope.
Got overconfident, you know? You got that one hit and just got you so excited.
Yep. That's
anything
it.
else? Your turn?
I'll back up like 5 feet just because this thing's charging forward. I don't know if it's at Yinkin or me, really. I mean, it's safe to assume Yinkin, but I'm not taking any chances.
Focusing on that same white that I've been pulling away from the party, I'm casting Scorching Ray again. That looks like it misses. That looks like it misses. That looks like it misses.
Unfortunately, yeah, all 3 of those just... You got hit with that arrow. It kind of threw you off. Seeing the fire splay up like that, Yeah, unfortunately, no luck this round. Do you want to move at all? Anything in,
Again, just I don't know if I need to move more to pull it away, but just trying to keep its focus away from the rest
I
of the
mean, it
party.
seems pretty focused on you, but now Marcus is hitting it too, so it's kind of a toss up because he's within melee, unfortunately, or fortunately.
Okay.
Yinkin as a horse Yinkin.
Horse Yinkin is going to try and keep this thing away from the rest of the party. I'm going to take the disengage action and move 40 feet behind this white and start leading it away.
Okay, that's weird. All right, sure. You can. I mean, are you trying to like get it to follow you?
Absolutely. I'm going to say like 35 feet. I'm staying literally a heartbeat away from its movement.
Right. But I feel like if you wanted to chase you, we need like a taunt. We need like a roll. So why don't you, I feel like, make me maybe like an intimidation check or something that is going to draw its attention, draw its ire.
All right.
I'm just checking. I feel like maybe, okay, 14. All right, we'll see. Maybe he'll make a roll to save or something. Giselle.
Okay, the one in front of me still alive?
It is. Yeah, they're both still alive.
Okay, I think I'm gonna try and change to my cold and see what that does.
Okay.
Because she's curious.
Okay. That does hit. It takes 2 cold damage. And that's your turn, unless you want to take a bonus action or a move.
Nope, that's good.
Okay. The first white is the one, Marcus, that's in melee. You are at disadvantage to hit, I know. So it is going to make 1 longsword attack at you at disadvantage, which misses, definitely misses. And then it's going to actually reach out with its hand, and it's just going to try to touch you. Unfortunately, because I think you're still at disadvantage, so it would have definitely hit you if you were not taking patient defense. But because you're paying attention to it, you can see, like, you just sort of casually, like Neo, like just move your shoulder out of the way, and the thing, and you can see when you move out of the way, like its skin is almost like rotting off. It's gray and fleshy, and it's got that sort of black veiny quality to its nails. Like it looks very sickly. The other white. Just going to have it make a roll to see if it cares enough about Yinkin to follow him.
Look at all that horse flesh.
What kind of roll should it make? Say like a wisdom save.
Maybe wisdom, yeah.
Wisdom.
Oh damn. Okay, so it is clever enough, at least in the moment, that it is not going to just chase after you. But I don't think it can move 1 action to get to the dry land, right? Like I feel like it would need 2 moves to get there. So I think it's just gonna pull out its bow and sort of like, it doesn't really know what you did, Marcus, Yinkin. So it's just sort of like ignoring you for the moment, and it's gonna fire a couple arrows at the dry land. So basically, it's between Faith and Giselle because the 2 of you are really the only ones there.
Good man.
Yeah, all the non-combatants.
First one is against Giselle. Whoops, that is not how you roll dice in this game. They're both against Giselle. What's your AC?
Currently 13.
First one hits.
Shield?
It won't help. Not with if your AC is 13, right? Because it only adds 5.
Yeah.
So you take 6 piercing damage from the first one. And the second one's going to hit you as well for 10.
Could I shield that one?
Nope, 21.
Ouch. Okay, so how much is that altogether?
16 piercing damage against you.
Oh, jeez, I have 1 hit point now.
Okay, Marcus.
All right, I will. I guess I will do. quarterstaff.
Hits. Okay.
And then unarmed strike.
Okay. Also hits. Oh, okay. Yeah, you bring the thing very low. It looks like if it had to breathe, which it does not, it would be breathing heavily, but it is barely alive. It's barely holding itself together. But unfortunately it is still alive. Anything else your turn? Key or
No, that's it.
Okay. Faith.
Try with the short bow again. God damn it. And then
That
seeing
bow.
2 arrows fly back past me to Giselle, I'll go ahead and healing ward her as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Giselle gets 7 back. Gabriel.
Again, I'm staying focused on that one I was attacking. I guess the one that's in front of.
Marcus.
I was going to call him Reginald, but yep.
I call him that. No worries.
That's 15.
So that definitely kills it. What does it look like when you kill this thing?
These 3 bolts come flying out of my hands, and they just crash into it one after the other, shoulder, chest, and it just blows out undead skin and muck out into the swamp, and it just collapses.
Yeah, you Marcus, standing right there as you're like swinging at it with your quarterstaff. You see these missiles fly out of nowhere, slam into this thing, and like some of its skin just sloths off, and you see it hit the water, and it just sort of disperses into the water. It discolors it. It's disgusting. But the thing appears to be dead, so that's good.
I glance back up at Gabriel and just nod at him. Thanks.
All
Fist
right.
pump.